Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel here. My name's Scott and I'm coming back to a little bit of grammar. And the grammar which I was thinking of doing for quite a long time, maybe months on end, is direct questions compared to indirect questions. And I want to do that today. So because some of my students have trouble with these indirect questions, so I want to kind of clear that up, have my students watch and have you watch, and be able to use these in the correct way. Direct questions with indirect questions. So what's a direct question? So if I ask, where is the station? That's a direct question. Now if I ask you, can you tell me where the station is? Or do you know where the station is? That's an indirect question. Now why are the indirect questions popular? Well, they're a little softer in usage, and they're not as direct, and they're a little bit more polite. So you probably come across watching movies or television or when talking with native English speakers that you'll hear the indirect questions come up quite often. Can you tell me where the station is? Do you know where the station is? There's two patterns I want to work on here. I want to work on where the station is. Do you know where the station is? Where is the station being a WH question, which is where, when, how many, how much, and so forth. And also some yes-no questions, because there are differences in usage of the indirect questions with WH questions and yes and no answers. Okay, let me go back to the first one here. Where is the station? And the structure of the question. Where, the be verb, is the station. 4 words is simple enough. Now, I can indirectly, can you tell me? Or do you know? Could you tell me? Those are fine. Those are the basics that we're going to use for forming the indirect question. So I'm going to stay with can you. Notice the is. The is changes position. So where is the station becomes can you tell me where the station is? And the is comes at the end of the question. Can you tell me where the station is? Likewise, do you know where the station is? Okay. Placement of the be verb in that regard. Now, I'll give you one more here. So, how often does he come here? And I'll put it indirectly. Do you know how often he comes here? How often does he come here? Do you know how often he comes here? What did you notice that's missing in the second question compared to the direct question? How often does he come here? Do you know how often he comes here? I'm sure you noticed the does gets cut off in the indirect question. And also, how often does he come here? Do you know how often he comes here? Now the does gets cut off. Take that last S from does and put it at the end of come. So, do you know how often he comes here? Okay? And 2 changes we have with the using the WH questions. Now, let's go to the yes-no answers. So let me give you a yes-no question. Is he busy? That's direct. Do you know, is he busy? Now, I said the second one incorrectly because I need you to put a word in there. So, do you know he's busy? What's that word that goes in there? What's that mystery word? If you said if, well done. You need an if there for the yes-no questions when you put them indirectly. So, is he busy? Do you know if he's busy? Does she like sushi? Do you know if she likes sushi? Can you tell me if she likes sushi? And you probably could also catch by what I'm saying or reading in here as well. We cut off the does here as well. Does she like sushi? Do you know if she likes sushi? Third person there gets the S from the does. Okay, everybody, those are the patterns that I wanted to work on here. Let me just give you a couple more here before we finish up today. So, what time does class finish? How would you put that indirectly? What time does class finish indirectly? You got it? Now, if you said, can you tell me what time class finishes, or do you know what time class finishes, then you're good. Those are correct answers. And I'll give you one more here, little quiz here at the end on a yes/no question. So, is it going to rain tomorrow? Is it going to rain tomorrow? How would you put that in an indirect question? Do you know? Can you tell me? Could you tell me? Got it? I hope you did. I wish I could hear you. So, do you know if it's going to rain tomorrow? Can you tell me if it's going to rain tomorrow? Also, notice on the is it going to, if it is going to rain tomorrow. Okay, everybody, there's a lot more I could do with these indirect questions as well, and they're good practice, and I hope you got a good start here. If you have any comments or questions about this indirect usage, feel free to comment. We would all love to hear from you. So leave a comment and like as hopefully you like it and you subscribe. And we'll be back here again. I got songs coming up. I have grammar coming up. I have so many things coming up. I don't know what to do next. But until then, everybody, thanks for watching and thanks for being great students.